Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us back here at Kesslerun Resources channel. We're sitting here once again with CEO Michael Thompson, and previously we dove into kind of the origins of how he got involved in the origins of the project itself, but today we want to dive a little bit deeper into what's been going on. But first off, Mike, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well myself. So kind of kicking off, the easiest way to do this would be for those brand new here, give me the elevator pitch of what it is Kesslerun is.
So we're an exploration company based out of Thunder Bay. We have two projects that are 100% owned, both based in Northwestern Ontario, excellent gold projects. One, a big system, greenfields project that we think has a lot of potential, BLUFFPOINT. And then the project that we're concentrating on is the HURONIAN project, historic mine, historic resource. We've been drilling it all through 2021, and yeah.
Okay, so if HURONIAN's one you're focusing on right now, can you bring up some visual indicators, help people understand where you guys are currently sitting in the project and what's going on right now and what's going to happen next?
Sure. So this is a shot of Northwestern Ontario, so our backyard in Thunder Bay, where I am based, and all our geologists are based, is right here. And there's the HURONIAN project. We're just west of Thunder Bay, about an hour and a half drive, and right next door to the Gold Shores Moss Lake project. And then in the center here is BLUFFPOINT, our more greenfields project, and just showing some of the proximity of the players. So New Gold's Rainy River Mine, the one operating mine sort of in this part of the region. First Mining's Cameron project, the Goliath Gold project, the Treasury is working on getting into development. Nico's Hammond Reef project, which is not too far from HURONIAN. But as you can see, it's good infrastructure. We've got two branches of the Trans-Canada Highway running through it, lots of secondary highways, lots of tertiary sort of logging roads, gravel roads all through. So access is excellent. Good population base and support system with many towns, and then Thunder Bay sort of being the anchor city.
Yeah, you could definitely have good transport logistics where you guys are at. You're obviously in an area that's a hotbed of activity right now. I mean, you got New Gold right there, not too far away, and both your projects are located in, like you said, really good locations. So from there, how is progress going so far on the HURONIAN project?
It's going well. We've been drilling since late January. As I said, the access is excellent on the project, so it has really made it simple, compared to other projects that have logistical and access constraints. So been putting out news on a fairly regular basis. We're drilling only with one rig. But yeah, really good results. We're super happy with the results so far. This is a bit of a zoom in on the HURONIAN mine project, and it's our next door neighbor, Gold Shores Moss Lake deposit. So as you can see, the Moss Lake deposit has had a previous preliminary economic assessment done on it. They've got a hypothesized pit outline. It's a lower grade deposit, but it's quite large. It's running combined indicated and inferred is over 3 million ounces. And so here we are situated in our property. We're concentrating all our exploration efforts currently around the historic HURONIAN mine. It was a producer back in the 30s, fairly high grade. And then in 1998, there was an historic resource estimate done on the project, about 45,000 ounces in indicated, 500,000 in inferred, ballpark around 14 to 15 grams. You can see the numbers right there. But it is historic in nature. We're just using disclosure, using that as an exploration potential indicator. So we're working hard drilling. So this is a zoom in of that mine area, and you can see the three shafts from the historic production. The blue zones in the McKellar, the Fisher, and the Fisher North are the three zones that the historic resource estimate was done on. The red zone Huronian zone was the historic production zone. So there was no resource estimate done on that zone. So we think there's a lot of potential, not only to confirm the tenure of the mineralization on McKellar, Fisher, and Fisher North, and expand those, but also to take another look at Huronian and see about remnant mineralization in amongst the workings, and extending that mineralization, along strike and down plunge. This is I always like this shot because it shows this is the one good shot that we have from a historic mine. And then this is a trench we dug right beside this shaft. This is the middle shaft on that, these three shafts. So there's the northern one, there's the middle, and we dug that hole right here to see the zone. The Huronian zone itself was hadn't been exposed since basically the discovery days, because as they started developing and mining the project, they just dumped all the waste rock over the edge of the hill, essentially, and buried it. So we'd actually never seen the Huronian zone per se, since acquiring it in 2016, and previous operators also, through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I'd never seen it. So this has been buried since the 30s. So I like that shot. It's just
yeah, that's a good one. That's good.
So that's a long section of the workings. So the Huronian zone itself is actually about 10 meters wide, shear zone, but they back in the 30s only mined sort of the best 1 meter vein approximately out of the zone. So there's quite a lot of remnant mineralization in that 10 meter wide zone. And so we're assessing that and think there's a lot of potential to put a resource on, amongst the workings. And so we were drilling it twofold: one to assess the potential for a remnant resource, and two, to get a better idea of what the nature of the gold mineralization was, so we could better target along strike and down plunge. But you can see some of the good results. In between these mined out areas, the gray is basically void now, at least for about 1 meter wide. But so yeah, we've got 16 grams over 4 meters, like quite an excellent drill intercept, and showing that real potential of the nature of the mineralization. And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so we've just started sort of progressing down plunge and down dip, and we're getting some pretty good results. Pretty high grade, but that's fairly typical. 3 meters at 13 grams and in it is approximately 1 meter wide vein that's quite high grade, and that's typical of what they would have been mining back in the day. It's a greenfields project. Like it's an old home state project from the late 80s and early 90s, and was sort of forgotten about. It's a granite hosted target, which is not a typical host rock for gold mineralization in Northern Ontario. It's usually in the green rocks, essentially. But there are a couple of examples. Cote Lake, which IAMGOLD and Sumitomo are working hard advancing, quite a large deposit. These are monster deposits, but typically low grade. Hammond Reef, which is also not far from Huronian, that Agnico Eagle has, which is fairly low grade, but still pretty big. So the nature of the alteration and the gold mineralization throughout it, the area is, we think there's a lot of potential for quite a large deposit. So that's what we're working on. But we haven't been active on that since really active since 2018. We did some work, but every summer we go and sort of do a little bit of follow up on some showing or something, some area we want to check out, and after sort of spending the winter doing a bit of desktop scratching our heads, having a beer, drawing on a napkin.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, every gold company has like their child they're watching and taking care of right now. Then you have multiple projects, just kind of working with slowly, but you have the one that's getting most of your attention and resources at the current time.
Absolutely, yeah. We're concentrating on Huronian. That's the one, the most farthest advanced and the one that has the most immediate potential.
All right, Michael, I think you did a pretty good job of overviewing the Huronian project. Can you tell me what the timeline is looking like, just loosely into the future, say over the next year or so?
Well, I mean, currently we're cash and cash equivalents. We're well over $3 million still in the bank. So we're fully funded to continue drilling throughout the remainder of the year and into the early parts of 2022. Yeah, the timeline is we're still drilling with one rig. We're working hard on expanding the zones that we've been working, the Fisher, the McKellar, the Fisher North, and the Huronian zone. So we're slowly progressing and expanding the footprint of what we've drilled on strike and down dip and really showing that potential. We're quite excited about the belt in the area. It's got excellent geology. Goldshore has planned a 100,000-meter drill program, so they're just gearing up on that. So I think it's going to bring a lot of eyes onto the belt and by proxy onto Kesslerun. And yeah, it's a fantastic mineralized greenstone belt. The Shibanawan greenstone belt is, I think, is a sleeper area play.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Is right now everyone's kind of building up, and attention's going to start coming to the zone eventually here, as everyone knows. Location, location, location. You are where there's gold. We can start with that. You are where there's gold. You got multiple people at play here, and they're all aiming to get attention. It's going to draw into you guys sooner or later. And you guys have a solid foundation built, and you have a solid plan going forward. Financials are looking good and steady for the upcoming drilling programs and so on and so forth. So, Mike, is there anything else you want to add? Any last words you want to give people before we go? While keeping in mind, if anyone has any questions or anything, we can obviously dive deeper later.
Sure. I mean, yeah, keep an eye out for news. I mean, we've been putting out news on a fairly regular basis. But as we progress the drilling down dip and along plunge, we're fairly confident that we're going to show the market the full potential of the property.
Wonderful.
And yeah, and keep an eye on the whole area. It's going to be a hot area.
Awesome. Well, Mike, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you everyone for watching. Can't say it enough. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, let us know. I know there's a lot of big words involved with this when it comes to the geology of things. We'll happily dive into it for you guys. Just let us know and stay tuned. We will get you some more news over the wire as soon as it comes in. But for now, Mike, have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks. Cheers.